This is the second video I wanted to do, and I want to keep it relatively around the same time frame as the previous video. This video is in regards to the matchmaking of the game, and the prestige system, and the balance. So, the game recently went free to play for 1 week on the Epic Games Store. As you can tell by the number of PCs, the game's population went from nearly dead to exploding with new players, and a lot of veteran players have come back to check out the prestige system and whatnot. Now, the implementation of the prestige system already caused a lot of problems. The demon is the power role. Contrary to what some YouTubers would like to say, I would love to call out a specific YouTuber whose username begins with a W by name, but I will leave it at that, talking about how broken the Survivor side is. When I have not had a cakewalk Survivor victory in multiple months, and I'm a level 94 account level with every single Survivor at level 25. Someone like to explain to me what is wrong if demons are so powerful. Now, demons have been receiving buffs. Not really. Or nerfs every single patch. Not really. Demons have not. In fact, demons have been receiving some buffs. One buff that all the demons got was the Puppeteer buff, as I call it. Puppeteer himself got nerfed, mostly because he kills solo survivors too easily. I'm not necessarily a fan of that. I personally think that the only part of the Puppeteer kit to me that needs a nerf is Kandarian Rage is way too strong against a one-on-one survivor. And there's nothing to stop the Puppeteer from focusing one survivor into the ground. You kind of have to, like, force your teammates to get in front of you. The other one is a small nitpick. I do not like the fact that Eligos is invisible while moving. That makes it very hard when you summon a boss in the middle of a fight. He kind of gets a lot of cheap shots and cheap kills. Other than that, I think Puppeteer is in a good state. I think Puppeteer is designed to be a high-risk, high-reward type killer. I have no issue with the damage he deals. I have no issue with the fragility he is. I have an issue with how powerful Puppet Power is. Particularly because Puppet Power doesn't... all your passives here just scale. I would prefer if what they did was actually buff Puppeteer by putting some of these abilities into base Puppet Power. Right now, it's without prestiges, it is 5% damage at 80% maximum health, and your first 2 upgrades give you an extra 5% damage and 20% health. I would be fine with that. If he got 10% damage and 100% health, and you just rework these 2 abilities into something completely different. Give him some type of base kit improvement. You could pull something out of these trees, and I would be fine with that. You could pull something out in the Survivor tree over here, or you could do something like Weapon Master Survivor. I would love that. When you possess a Survivor, you deal like 30 or 40% increased damage with that Survivor if you use Puppet Power on them. That, to me, I would really enjoy. However, Puppet Power has a set time limit. You can't be depossessed before then, but when your time runs out, your time runs out. You can put it at like 10 seconds. So where Puppet Power, if you can be used on a Survivor, but it only lasts 10 seconds. I could see a change like that. One of the changes that they did is they gave the AI patterning of Puppeteer to all of the other demons. This is a massive problem. Partially because Necromancer can spam the field with so many fucking units. 1, your game lags. 2, Flutist buff. People complain. They nerfed the Flutist. They needed to nerf the Flutist. It was a minor nerf, and if you get him to Prestige 1, which is 2 million blood points, guess what? You're right back to where you were before. I don't have a problem with this. Why don't I have a problem with this? Exhibit A. Let me show you all the supports that all the fucking characters that received nerfs because of the prestige system. Well, let's start with that. Henry is most notable in the in the nerf that he received on his prestige system. Unstoppable got nerfed into the ground. I'm fine with that because it was a broken ability, but before demon players start talking shit, he received next to no buff. 2% is nothing. So he basically didn't receive a prestige. Arthur's rework is also a soft nerf to him because they nerf the effectiveness of his aura until you prestige, and they nerf the effectiveness of Lord's Wrath until you prestige. So you have to prestige to put both of these back to normal. I think Annie did as well. Yeah, Annie's aura got nerfed, where you have to prestige her to get her back to normal. Right? Warrior Ash is the same. Scotty's the same. I think me is the same. I know El Jefe is the same. Yeah, she's the same. Hunter Ash is the same. Ed. What about Ed? That's a minor buff. The buffs are so meaningless on the prestige. That's the same. That got a buff. Power? What's that the one? No, that's the same. Shit, I'm not even touching her. Oh no, wait! I do need to talk about her. Her passive got nerfed. Her passive got nerfed, so you have to get her to Prestige 1 to get your original passive back to where it was before. Pablo got buffs. David's another one. David got nerfed on Soda Pop. You don't even get back to where it was before when you hit Prestige 1. So, that's another character. And Blacksmith... Yeah, he's just straight buff. So you got 2 supports, a warrior, and 2 leaders that both got nerfed. And they have to Prestige to put them back. I genuinely don't know why demon players are complaining about that. I would also like to mention that now, Warlord and Necromancer, who were the 2 highest damage dealers, who are capable of, let's put a bunch of units out, and the AI gets a good amount of chip damage now, you can go down pretty much instantly on good Necromancer build. A good Necromancer build, where your flute is up, you've buffed the damage dealt by basic units, and you can put out a shit ton of basic units, means you can now just drop a flute, summon 2 or 3 portals, without possessing anything. The survivors are gonna take massive damage. Massive, unavoidable damage. And seeing a skeletal injury received a buff, that many skeletons nearby is a 25% buff anyway. The amount of complaining that I'm hear the demon side doing about how demon is broken, I would just like to advise you that the game went free to play on Epic Game. What this means is my level 94 survivor ass now gets matched up with nothing but level 1 survivors. Or I get matched up with demons that are higher levels than me, and I'm the highest survivor in my lobby, because all the other survivors are level 1. Now, there are a couple of problems with this. Number 1, there's a massive divide between characters. As an example, the Blacksmith, who I will use before, plays completely differently with just these 2 abilities than he does with these 2 abilities. This makes him more of a support. This makes him more tanky. These 2 abilities just make him into a big tank who can heal on occasion. Same thing, look at your point. A level 1 Blacksmith only has Shems plus 1. What does that mean? That means you don't have extra Shems. You can't carry the extra Shems. You have no bonus healing. You do not have Industrial Strength to make yourself tankier. You do not have your melee abilities to give you more damage. You do not have Artful Dodger for your second dodge. Meaning, a level 1 Blacksmith just hits relatively hard in the early game until the demon's threat level gets above 10. Once he can get a boss out, GG. And so many new players are coming into this game. They are not playing the tutorial. They are not playing an AI game to get comfortable with it. People talk about we need new game modes. No, I just think we need a warm-up period. What I would do is something similar to what Paladins did for their system. Which Paladin's system is, you have to play a certain amount of matches against the bot in order to level up and get comfortable with game mechanics before you can go in and play against players. I think they should have a rule that until your account level hits level 5, you can only play the AI modes. I would make it to where there should be an AI demon mode, for one, where you can play demon against AI survivors. But I would make it where you're only allowed to play AI mode, and you earn spirit points like normal until you hit level 5. Once you hit account level 5, you're able to play the rest of the game. Because so many of my games have been lost. I would just like to mention the fact, I'm going to show you my blacksmith. My prestige challenges on the blacksmith. These are my stats on the blacksmith. Okay? These stats on the blacksmith are across 7 games. I won 4. I lost 3. That is also because I can carry a team. I fought a lot of baby demons. I've had games where my entire team has died because no one has gone for an objective, thus forcing me to do it. My entire team of 3 people died to a level 1 demon in the first 3 minutes of the game. They were dead. I am not exaggerating. I had a game today on Lucky Valley Lodge map, the smaller map. We spawned at Misery Manor. We spawned in the middle. My 3 teammates went to one end. I went to the other end once I knew the map piece wasn't in that house. I picked up the map piece at that house. By the time I came back to the other 3 survivors, all 3 of them had died and were bled out. I had an account level 1 puppeteer. Account level of 1 that was threat level 18. 3 minutes into the game. What am I gonna do as a blacksmith, a level 25 blacksmith, with 3 ships, 1 amulet, a common mace, and 2 pink F points? You tell me. What am I supposed to do in that game? I'm not carrying that game, as indicated by the numbers. Now, people have talked about matchmaking. We need matchmaking. Well, how are you going to fix matchmaking? What I'm going to do, I would love to queue for a game and then back out, but I don't want to throw people's games, so that's what's been happening a lot. It's a lot of lobby dodging, because you get high-level demons that want the low-level survivors, so they leave if they see anybody near my level. And I'm not even a high level. I'm a mid-level. You're going to chase away all the new players that you have. Now, people have talked about matchmaking. To me, I don't think you need matchmaking. I think you need to revamp your game modes. So exploration is fine. I think it needs some rework, but it's fine as a game mode. You have the 2 primary modes. Versus player survivor, versus player demon. And you have your AI mode, which to me, this should be 1 mode and let you choose what you want. You can choose to play, I think the play as survivor, play as solo, this doesn't need to be here. I think you just simply need to have these 2 modes be changed, play as demon, play as survivor, with the other side being AI. Private game is fine. You need 2 more game modes. You need ranked. This gives you AI exclusive, okay? And to me, AI exclusive, I would be fine if AI still doesn't give you rewards, right? You could play AI game mode with no spirit point gains if you did the following. Versus player here as Demon Survivor, unranked. Meaning, you will be matched against players of a similar rank, account rank as you. You can gain spirit points in that mode. Or it could be just free-for-all. But you need a ranked mode. There should be a ranked mode for Demon and Survivor, which you can only queue against survivors within a certain range of account levels. I understand not everybody is a massive. I've been here since launch, but because of the stability of the game, I'm only 94. There are people that level 500. Now, am I competing with a level 500 demon or a level 500 survivor? Probably not. I would probably say I could compete with a 250 because I have the game mechanics mastered. There's a lot of high-level survivors that play like absolute dog shit. Just like every other multiplayer game, you get people that just don't get along. I would put a capping system in place where, for ranked modes, you can only queue against survivors within a certain bracket. You can keep it, for right now, you can keep it at 200. So, players, I would have a baby ranked, you would have to have a certain account level in order to hit ranked. Let's say you have to have an account level of 50, because that's what you get the trophy for. So you have 50 to 150, then you have 150 to 250, 250 to 350, 350 to 450, 450 and up could all be in one tier, right? Because that way there, it's quite easy. You just play based off your rank. Now, a rank reward. What could you do for a rank reward? I talked before about how I think Prestige is relatively shit. So, a lot of people have talked about the Prestige rewards are relatively shit. I would leave the level up rewards, like Avenging Anvil going up, and Rough and Ready going up. I would leave those in your Prestige. Your Screamers, I would tie those to ranked. Alternate outfits, tie those to ranked. Weapon skins, tie those to ranked. You could have an offering system similar to Dead by Daylight, where you could bring an offering that benefits you only at the start of the match, that you could spend spirit points on. So, something like, start the match with a common mace. Automatically upgrade the first weapon you pick up into a blue of that version. It only works across the first weapon that you pick up. If it's higher than a blue, it doesn't go up. So it basically just lets you choose whatever weapon you first pick up becomes a blue once you pick it up. And if you drop it, it'll stay a blue. You could have something like start with 2 pink F points to start of the game. You could have an offering system. This offering system you could basically get a card system. You could have a gambling mechanic, right? If you wanted to do it that way. People don't want to hear that. You know, the demons could have their own cards that they could bring in, like modifiers from Black for Blood. So you could have something like, you know, you can never drop below 10% of your infernal energy every 30 seconds. And that has a cooldown where each time you would drop below that 10%, you don't for like 10 seconds. And then that goes on cooldown for a minute or two. That could be a good mechanic, right? But you need a rank system here. Not a matchmaking system, in my opinion. A rank system. I'm fine with matchmaking how it currently is if versus player was not the only game mode. Or if versus player, the only thing to do in versus player is to grind your characters up. That one thing Dead by Daylight does better is there are multiple things to do. If you're a Dead by Daylight player and you don't care about the game and you just want blood points, you can play in the lower ranks and just throw games to grind up blood points, level up your characters, and then play the game normally. If you're a ranked person, you can grind your rank up by playing how you're supposed to play. If you're just playing for fun, same thing. There's multiple goals, and you stay in a rank accordingly. In this game, there's one goal, and that's grind blood points. But the problem is, some players are going to inherently have an advantage. If I were to queue right now as a level 1 Plaguebringer, I could probably stomp people. That's ridiculous. Now, I mentioned I was going to talk about balance. Here's my thoughts on balance. Demon players, if you want to complain that Necromancer is broken, An account level Necromancer level 1 should not be able to beat a full lobby of 4 survivors unless those survivors are all 1 to 10. A level 25 hunter and a level 25 leader plus 2 level 1s should not be losing to a level 1 necromancer. A level 1 warlord should not beat a level 25 support, a level 25 warrior, and 2 level 1s. Sorry, that's not balanced. And most players who play the game on both sides, myself included, will tell you Demon has an edge. There are multiple YouTubers out there, multiple Twitch streamers out there that will all tell you that it is either balanced or demon-sided. It is only the hardcore demon players that do not play literally anything but demon that say demon is underpowered. So yeah, fix your matchmaking. Simple as that.